Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, where I'm always excited to introduce one of the most creative and technologically advanced Protoss players in the world. In the top left in the red, it's Classic. Opposite him, a player known for being reckless with his units, but maybe not so reckless with his strategy for renaming himself. The artist formerly known as Ragnarok. Now, I give you SHIN. Now, what was his strategy for renaming himself? Well, that's probably more of a question for his mother, because SHIN is his name. That's his real name. So, pulled a J-dong on us here. But, maybe a little easier to fit into a clickbait title, so we'll see what he has in store. A best of 3 PvZ, whether we go with the high-tech road in order to get to things like Robo Bay or Fleet Beacon, or stay low with the Zerglings. Hopefully the road will lead us to some good games, and maybe lead you to like and subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we? 1,205. Yes, one more than yes. 1,205 likes on this video, on this cast. And I'll cast another series. And I'll probably do it anyways. I don't know what else I would do. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get a little bit better. I don't expect... Well, I don't know what to expect. I expect Classic to essentially build almost every tech building before getting more than half a dozen units. And I expect SHIN to lose several hundred Zerglings. I've seen games where he averages over 100 Zerglings per minute lost, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if it gets the job done. Already, the initial Zergling's able to take out these Adepts. Pretty big mistake out of Classic to lose the Adepts shading in. The Zerglings are able to rip them apart. So, not the ideal start by any means. Losing your first 2 Adepts. Well, Classic has now... It's a Void Ray. He's gone Void Ray first. There's a Twilight behind here, but... And an Oracle. Twilight Robo. But Void Ray first, in order to burn away any Overlords and give you, you know, just a basic sort of defense against early Roaches. He actually had to build a shield battery to temporarily wall because he didn't have any Adepts because he lost them sending him across. Not an auspicious start at all. Third base attempted that probe. Nope. Ah! Guys, hello? And, oh my god, he didn't middle a wall. It's not a disaster, but it's a moderate inconvenience indeed. It's like forgetting to charge your phone when it's on 32%. You gotta go to work. It's like, well, it's probably enough. Did he lose it? Did it die? I did that thing where the camera jumps away if we're following the camera, or following a unit specifically. Jimmy really screwed that one up. It did die. So the recall. Classic feeling about a half step behind here to start things off. Maybe needs a little bit of warm-up as we get into the series, though we're already several rounds into the tournament, so I'm not sure. You know, he's like a slumbering giant. Okay, emphasis on the slumbering for now. Yeah, well, what? He's building a Templar Archives. He has a Void Ray, an Adept, and a Zealot. You can't... I mean, is this an Archon drop? Where's the Warp Prism? Oh, wait, there's the Warp Prism. I didn't say Warp Prism, I don't think. Either way, there's a Warp Prism. He's doing Archon drop. That's where I was going with this. The Void Ray is clearing out anything that could scout the vision of it, which is usually the purpose of the Void Ray early on. The Zerglings ripping apart a Zealot. Another one going to be tucked in here. Might be a little suspicious that Zealots are being built as opposed to Adepts. Zealots are fine, but rarely do you build them early on to defend against Zerglings. It is going to be a double Archon drop to kick things off. Classic with the most high-tech, low unit count builds, as always. Even warping in a couple of Adepts here. Has this been spotted? SHIN has plenty of Roaches, though, so he's kind of going directly in to a near brick wall of Roaches. The Roaches are not going to have speed. Charge is not done, though. Yeah, the Roaches are here. This is going to make things... he's going to micro a bit, but with Transfuse, that is more than enough Roaches and Queens. Yeah, this is not... Nope, he's trying to juggle here. But Again, more than a half step, at least 3/4, maybe a full step behind when it comes to tech and timing here, as SHIN has 67 workers, and Classic, well, is similar, but the unit count isn't there. Yeah, losing, well, has not really done anything to slow down the economy. There's a Void Ray with an Observer. Quite a technical combo there in order to delay the creep. And SHIN is quickly speeding towards a max out, whereas Classic only has 6 gates and a Robo, which is barely enough to really maintain production, and certainly not enough. He's starting Storm and Blink. Well, he started Storm. He has Blink on the way. I think he realized that that was a bit optimistic. You can't have your cake, upgrade your cake to the next level, and then get a new sort of cake. And eat it. 1, because you're Protoss, you can't eat cake. 2, there's a bunch of roaches and hydras. So it looks like SHIN went with the good old-fashioned go fucking kill him strategy. Yeah, well, that was a bit embarrassing. Yeah, you just bopped him there. I don't know what Classic was trying to accomplish, but if it wasn't losing every one of your early game units and then doing a kind of half-hearted Archon drop timing, well then I think he failed. And that would be a weird thing to be angling towards in the first place, but well, that's why we play best of 3s. Strategy number 1 doesn't work out, well, you get another shot at it. I'm sure SHIN feeling pretty good about that one, as being able to shut down a strategy like that feels amazing to get a game on the board. Because if Classic, all right, let's do Protoss advocate here. If Classic is able to get 3 bases to keep those roaches at bay, well, now he has the whole tech. He's got Templar, he's got Immortals, he's already got Archons, obviously. Like, he has everything he needs if he can bring production online. But it does take a while to put together. And SHIN just slaps him across the face and says, I'll take game 1. Speaking with Jimmy! Thank you! SHIN takes game 1, to be clear. What's it gonna be? No shenanigans early. Not even a delay on the second hatch. Hatch first it is, though. Second Nexus. And nothing untoward. A bit of probe mineral flirting there. Trying to make the drones bounce off while the minerals say they're taken. Adept first. Not upgrading Warp Gate quite conspicuously. The Overlord will be seeing it as well. And that almost certainly indicates Stargate. Every once in a while, you'll get someone who does that intentionally to try to telegraph a Stargate and then go like lave the depths. No, it's gonna be Stargate. Just straight off the bat. Of course, last game also was Stargate, but starting with a Void Ray, which a Void Ray, it costs 100 minerals more and 2 more supply than an Oracle, and it really doesn't have the utility. It doesn't have the scouting, isn't nearly as fast. Sure, it can kill Overlords, but a Void Ray does slow down the rest of your follow-up. And their Classic didn't get particularly much value out of it. It's going to be another Void Ray, though. I don't think the Void Ray was the issue. I think the issue was going Void Ray into Archon drop and then having nothing else while doing no damage. That was like it was a combination effort. A series of incredibly unfortunate events. Overlord hanging out, as it does. Another gas. Getting 2 more guesses at 3:30. Anything before 4 minutes. Not sure if he went for it last game. He may have, but that is very early. And I believe SHIN saw it. Yeah? Indeed he did. Now, what do you do about it, is the question. You can probably get away with a whole lot more drones, but doing any sort of aggression is a bit riskier. Well, Zerglings, third, Nexus. And now the moment of Classic already has 250 gas. Is this... Oh my. I dare not dream. But dreams do sometimes come true. The fleet beacon is lit, and Classic has decided to sprint up the tech tree yet again. Will it be Tempest, which seemed to be the flavor of the last month or two? Or straight to carriers? I guess there's a very small chance of a mothership rush. It's on the table. For Classic? 50-50 Tempest carrier. I can't commit. I don't want to commit. He has enough for a carrier. Tempests are much cheaper. They're not cheap, but they're much cheaper than carrier. Carrier it is! Alright, we'll see what the carrier does when it's arrived. Oracle actually gets 4 drone kills. Not a bad take here. And Void Ray lights up. Burns through an Overlord. So these are the little hiccups that can really make it difficult to punish a Protoss. Losing 4 drones and getting supply blocked? That's quite a wombo combo there. That's going to slow down the drone count, slow down the tech, and by the time SHIN can do really anything on Classic's side of the map, the carriers will have already arrived. Well, he got the Twilight Forge and Robo behind, as he's not going to be left without the entire tech tree. Quite literally. Every single branch of it is going to be created before Classic has 6 units. Alright, there it is. Unit number 6 is a carrier. Because of course it is. The 2 carrier timing. What? Is he really just going to go 2 carriers and then follow it up with a ground army? This is so backwards. There's a Spire on the way. I'm not sure if SHIN saw the carriers or if he's just anticipating them. I mean, this might be to deal with ground base. Either way, just a 2 carrier timing. He's not building any more carriers. He's getting 6 more gates and a Templar Archives. Classic is determined to get the entire... He's doing 100% Protoss tech completion challenge here. The carriers just fly over. Yeah, they could probably delay the hatch. But he's going straight for the main. All right, decides to angle towards the 3rd, looking for an opportunity to use, well, the fact that carriers can fly. All right, launch it. He's actually, what is this? Oh, he's doing carrier drone harass. The Queens aren't happy about it. So far, he's not managed to kill any more workers than the Oracle did. Apparently, it takes quite a bit of interceptor hits to kill drones. Okay, I'm not sure about this one. Oh, you better not lose that carrier. The Queens. Yeah, well... Huh. What do you... That was the most expensive way to kill 3 drones. At least he didn't lose the carriers. He's got a 4th base on the way. There are Corruptors in production. But by the time... It looks like Classic is trying to hit that kind of reverse timing. Because Corruptors are not so great against the ground army. Storm is going to be done. Blink is almost complete. He actually left all but 1 space here to create the smallest possible choke point. But Storm is ready. Not even gonna bother storming the Corruptors, it looks like. Trying to save the Storms for the ground army. The carriers just get knocked down. So, 4 more Corruptors on the way. At this point, the Corruptors are mostly dead weight. But he did kill the carriers. Classic with like the Noah's Ark Protoss style of, I'm gonna build a little bit tight. 2 carriers, 2 Void Rays, 2 Immortals. Okay, sprinkle in some Stalkers. Some Templar. There's no Dark Shrine or Robo Bay yet. But once we get those, he'll have 100%ed the tech tree. Alright, the Corruptors thought about some caustic spray. The Stalkers made sure they thought twice. Meanwhile, storms to try to zone out. The Void Ray charges up, burning through another storm. Corruptors moving in to deal with the Void Ray. They should be able to get it. More storms! Melting through a lot of the HP of those Roaches and Ravagers. I don't think there's enough energy for another one. Shield battery overcharge. Trying to body block for the Templar. Another storm at point blank. Overcharged battery is taken out. We've now got a Baneling nest and a whole bunch of Zerglings on the way. Classic blonks forward at the last second before the Corrosive Biles land. He's been doing such a great job of keeping those Templar alive. Now the fight is kind of getting sprung out here. As the Stalker count is high enough, Classic has a ton of money in the bank. He's blunking forward. He's only got 8 gates to support this. Which, I mean, the aggression seems to be paying off for him. He's got 84 probes. I said drones out of replay, but then realized that was incorrect. The Corruptors are being taken out. Tried the caustic spray to melt. This kind of reverse tech tree is working out just fine for Classic. He's been so good about keeping his Templar alive. SHIN does not have an infestation pit. He does not have a hive, which, you know, the infestation pit required for the hive, so that makes sense. He's sitting back and building up Ravager to Ling Bane. Gonna go for the full Zerg surround style. Where if Classic makes even a single mistake, he just loses all his Templar. And then the Ravager lane can just overrun the rest. $20 Banelings. But Classic is comfortably... He's comfortably getting more bases. He's nearly maxed out. This is the danger of Classic. If he does get his tech tree fully operational, well, now he has everything. All right. Well, the Banelings are rolling in, and the Templar just evaporate. Well, he no longer has the most important unit in his army. The Banelings close in, and Classic's army is down to just exclusively Stalkers. That might be enough, but the Banelings, a physical meat shield, and an acid bomb to boot here. And, oh no, he loses the Warp Prism! Oh my, the glass cannon that is Templar and Stalkers is shattered by just a few Banelings rolling in at the right place at the right time. Surprised we didn't see any sentries with the army there. We're back to carriers now, as the Corruptors have been taken out. Well, besides those 4, just ignore those 4, and all the Corruptors were taken out, totally, 100%. And the gold base, well, just mass Stalker now, alongside those carriers. 30 Stalkers on the field, looking for an angle for the caustic spray. We'll spray and pray that Classic doesn't come down in time. Unfortunately, building so close together means Corrosive Bile and Banelings become extra effective. Becomes a little awkward when dealing with them. The Zerglings will rip apart. Is there a hive done? No, he didn't even start the hive, as SHIN, realizing he has quite an advantage after crushing those Templar, finally starts the hive. We'll see if the new and improved Ragnarok remembers what adrenal glands is. Notorious for not getting adrenal glands, even though adrenal glands is the best upgrade for Zerg. Like, it is worth essentially as much as getting all 3 attack upgrades for Zerglings. It's kind of a big deal. But, SHIN notorious for forgetting it. Or maybe he just has, like, a campaign against it. I doubt it, though. Templar, Storms. This time around, the Banelings struggling to close the distance. Corrosive Biles. Banelings trickling through the gold minerals there. There's one more Storm left over. Archon should be merging momentarily. Merges at the front of the fight. That was a lot closer to what I think Classic wanted to do with the original fight. And now, well, the carriers unleashing their interceptors. The Corruptors are not quite enough. The carrier survives. And now, SHIN does not really have the army to deal with this. We're still at a relatively healthy economy for both sides. I think SHIN has a little bit more, just as access. Well, the gold base isn't online yet. Classic. He has 91 probes, though. He's going to be losing that bottom right corner. His army can't really split into too many pieces. You kind of need everything together. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to deal with even smaller amounts of Zerg. Stalkers are not going to be going out on their own. The carriers, we've already seen the danger of sending them out by themselves. The Templar need an entire honor guard and a shield of dozens of stalkers to guarantee they'll survive. The Zerglings are just right-clicked on the Nexus, which was a bit optimistic. Ultraless Cavern and a Greater Spire on the way. Where's the Adrenal Gland? How? SHIN! What is this SHIN? Of all the things to not get, he's getting an Ultra Cavern, he's getting a Greater Spire, but no Adrenal Gland, and he has the money. That's the most offensive part. I don't understand it. I swear. He's currently ranked about... All right, a new and improved Zerg. He finally found the money. He had it the whole time. But Adrenal Glands are on the way. The Zergling's going to be fully operational if he needs them. The Banelings are rolling in. The Corruptors over the top. Looking to knock down the Carriers. The Carriers spread out throughout the fight, but the Corruptor count should be more than enough. He's got +1 Carapace as well, which means the Interceptors are struggling to get damage done. He has no attack upgrades on the Carriers. Another one bites the dust. Only a single Carrier remains. He's finally getting +1 attack. But the Carapace upgrade on the Corruptors was clearly the call. A vanguard of cannons here. Looking juicy for Banelings and potentially Corrosive Bile, though. Chitinous Plating is on the way. Adrenal Glands halfway done. Getting there. All right, I'm proud. And no matter what, I'm proud of you, SHIN. All right? I know it for what it's worth. I know you probably aren't watching this cast, though. If you are, thank you. But I'm proud of you. Let it be said. Now let's lose a few hundred more Zerglings. Let's go. 250 so far. Those are rookie numbers. We got to pump those numbers up. Ultras on the way. Immortals, as classic builds, he's built something resembling a death ball, but he hasn't quite cinched it together. I think Immortals are a big part of that. His army is still quite vulnerable on the ground, and there haven't been enough carriers to clear out most of the rest of the army while the ground army's fighting. The carrier count is rising dramatically. He's building 3 at a time, +2 air weapons. There's no vision really on the field. The observer, the army, I don't know where the army's going. Over to the left side to clear that out. But unfortunately, well, he's going to recall here. The Ultras are just going to chew through. Oh, and he recalls Templar, which does seem like it might be the correct call. Oh no, the Templar are taking the damage from the Ultras. Not exactly an ideal scenario. The Ultras are chewing through, but the Immortals are standing their ground. A hectic fight. The Immortals helped out a lot. The Ultras, there's only one left. The last carrier is getting chased down by the last Corruptors. It will live. What a mess. Okay, so Classic actually ends up killing significantly more. He ends up getting all of the Ultras, all of the Corruptors. He gets 6,800 to 5,400 minerals, 36 to 2,300 gas. Still, though, quite a costly fight for both sides. Classic losing 10 carriers now, 16 High Templar. At some point, they might just be better off as Archons, but that's not Classic style. He has a Classic style of Protoss, if you would. Respecting the High Templar, which is something that both lore and multiplayer meta in StarCraft 2 has decreasingly done as time has gone on. It's come out that High Templar maybe weren't as amazing as we originally thought, for many reasons. Anyways, though, if only they had their Kadarin amulets back. All right. Warping in storms was a great idea, right? More ultras, more carriers. For like the 6th time, Classic is going to take that bottom right. Wait, whoa, that... You got a good point, Observer. That is not the bottom right corner. That is technically Shin's side of the map. The northern side of the map is mostly unexplored. Shin has taken one base up there. Classic hasn't even bothered. He was sending some units out earlier, but now we're maxed out, but no money in the bank here. +2 air attack and shields, alongside +3 on the ground. So, and how many carriers? 8 carriers against just 13 corruptors, which is a bit thin. But so is the ground army here. Storms onto the corruptors, a single Archon. A merge just as the banelings close in. The corruptor count might very well be high enough to take this out, though. The ultras are chewing through. It's gonna be close. Gonna target down one more carrier. The ultras made it by. There's a drone in there. A predator drone, but meanwhile, Zealots on the other side. A charge lock counter. Finding some real damage. 9 drones down. Forces Shin to evacuate their base to the north. And while the ultras may take out the base, despite getting a pat on the back from the shield battery. No, the drone! It dies, but only after the Nexus is taken down. What a brutal game. Oh my god. Well, we're at 400 Zerglings, 7 Ultras, 14 Carriers, and 18 Templar. 82 Stalkers down. Classic is slowly but surely incrementing more and more Carriers into his army. Shin lost a bunch of drones and has a downright mediocre army composition for dealing with mass carrier. The Corruptors, when you have the economy to just sweep them out of the sky, sure, it's costly, but if you remove the carriers, the ground army should be able to handle the rest. The problem is, for the first time, the carriers remain. And that means Classic, though I'm not sure how well he realizes it, that means Classic is in position to potentially close it out, as Shin has not nearly enough economy to really maintain this sort of attrition-based unit composition. But here come the Queens. Brenda, we fight! Trying to find anti-air wherever he can. Some Zealots head to the north. Ultras and Lings are chewing through. Just gonna fight. +3 flyer attack is completed. Classic, instead of trying to expand to the entire other side of the map, will continue expanding towards Shin, which does make it easier to cover multiple bases with his carriers, which seems to be the intent. And Shin is running out. Classic doesn't know this for sure, but Shin certainly does. As 153 supply, building a handful of banelings. That's optimistic. Does he even have enough corruptors? 7 carriers? If any storms land, it's unlikely that'll be enough. The Queens can help, but Zerglings clean up the Zealots. Shin has not rebuilt any drones, though I don't think he has the mineral patches to really make use. Here we go. Trying to push the creep forward. Without it, you can't transfuse, which kind of defeats some of the purpose of bringing the Queens alongside here. Or Banelings rolling in. Another fight that will span an entire screen. The Corruptors forcing storms directly on top of his carriers, trying to melt through some of the interceptors. But the Corruptors will melt, and alongside it, the Zerg. Classic holds the line. A arduous game, a difficult experience. 487 Zerglings down, but eventually the Sky Toss army reigns supreme As Shin kind of semi all in on that advanced lair tech sort of army. Not willing to drag it out to the extreme late game. And that means, well, we're all tied up going in to game number 3. Classic, definitely a unique style of Protoss. I'm still not convinced that building a dozen High Templar is better than just having 3 or 4 more Archons. All right, it's really more of a practicality versus theory thing, where technically having 12 storms or even more is better. But are you ever going to be able to cast those 12 storms? Classic seems to think so. All right, game 3. For all the proverbial marbles. Maybe literal marbles. Rarely is that the prize of a tournament, though. Probe darting around. Will we see another... I feel like Dark's method of just... Well, Shin had it right in game 1. Just go kill him. That's the play, right? Like, just walk across with everything you have, well, a pretty solid mid-game army, and slap him across the face. I think the carriers really threw him off, though. Because the carriers directly into Templar... Only classic. Probe so annoying. Stress-inducing. Not particularly damaging, but mentally. Overlord gliding in. You'll have to see. He got his second gases so early. It was such a... it was a giveaway that there was going to be a lot of gas. There are plenty of mind games that involve taking those gases and then either not using them or canceling them after killing the Ovi. Stargate again. This one right up against the edge. Looks like he wants to protect the third base with it, which is usually the purpose of the Stargate. One of, among many. Adept. Making sure Zerglings have a tough time of sneaking by. Usually I like to have some sort of prediction on where the game's gonna go. Make myself potentially look mildly intelligent by having an idea of what's going to happen. But it's a Void Ray again. Now we look out for the gases. I think Shin doing the same. Shin just kind of doing your generic build queens, build Zerglings, try to react. The Overlord sees it, by the way. The Overlord sees both. I lied. Sees one. Now he's gonna see both. He's checked. He wouldn't just... Okay, this is the moment. Alright, the moment the Overlord dies, split second later, cancel both, go charge lots. He's got a Twilight on the way, but he's getting the gas. It looks like... Oh, alright, no pause. We don't stop for anyone here. Classic called for a pause in order to contemplate which of a wide selection of Templar-based cheeses he would pick. Shin understands that, well, not much to do about it now. What's it going to be? Glaives. Oh, there's got to be a Dark Shrine, though. Going up to... Well, it's going to be 4 gates to start. Got the third on the way. Again, like, there's no way he just does a generic Glaives all-in, right? That would be a great card to play when you've already done two of the most technologically advanced builds Protoss has. He's only mining on the outer gas there, just I think in case something gets a look at it. No Roach Warren from SHIN yet. I say yet because it is almost a default choice. As going Zerglings. Well, if he's convinced it's going to be Stargate again, he won't make a Roach Warren. He may even just either rush to Spire or Hydras, which could be absolutely disastrous when a bunch of Adepts start shady across the map. Oh no, and he's building drones. He got bammed and boozled. It's an absolute disaster here. Oh. I can't understate how horrible this is for SHIN. There are more Adepts than Zerglings on the field at the moment. Oh, wow. I can't believe the bait and switch. And Roach Warren starts as soon as he sees the... Yep. Classic played it beautifully. It's a pretty simple mind game. Just going for the double Stargate, showing him the gas, and then hitting him with the Glaive to Depths. But it looks like it's gonna work with flying colors. Just absolute devastation. He hasn't done critical damage yet, but it's not over. The Adepts are still in the base. The drones are still running. And that's... I can't believe. Hook, line, and sinker. Complete and utterly baited into assuming it was another carrier rush. Like Classic could just whip out the Glaive to Depths with the best of them. Ah, that was a brutal but well-deserved victory. Classic played it well. God. Move over, Shakespeare. Classic's making the plays now. Oh, shit. Wow. 8 Adepts, 58 Zerglings, 43 drones. Just eviscerated his economy and his self-respect. Oh, my. Well, an abrupt and decisive ending to quite a creative series indeed. Classic takes it 2-1. Hopefully you enjoyed that display of that diverse display of Protoss strategy, or you just like watching Zerg lose. Either way, I hope you enjoyed. I hope I made your day a little bit better. It'd be awesome if you got the means and motivation to check out Patreon or YouTube membership, or either way, I hear liking and subscribing is free. So thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun. I'll see you next time. Stay chill.